The air was thick with a serene stillness that day, a rare moment of peace enveloping the house as both of my parents ventured out, leaving me alone in the quiet. Alone on the sofa, I found myself in the company of Bruno. The flickering images of a comedy danced across the TV screen, pulling my attention away as laughter echoed in the room, but my mind wandered elsewhere. The sights flashed before my eyes, captivating me so deeply that I almost lost touch with everything else around me. Bruno shot to his feet, his eyes ablaze with intensity. His complexion bore an unusual tint, as if he had just unearthed a profound truth. He bolted for the main door, silence enveloping him like a shroud. A faint click echoed in the silence, pulling me from my thoughts and igniting a spark of curiosity within me. Bruno secured the door with a decisive click, sealing off the world beyond. He spun on his heel and rushed toward me, his gaze heavy with an unnameable, profound emotion. In a flash, Bruno lunged at me, catching me completely off guard, leaving no room for a reaction as the world around me blurred into chaos. It felt as though the very fabric of space was being suffocated. Time hung suspended in the air. Everything unfolded like a fierce cyclone, tearing through the fabric of reality, leaving me paralyzed and in a state of shock. In that moment, I realized that the events about to unfold would irrevocably change the course of my existence. Greetings, I am Emma, a 19-year-old girl navigating the twists and turns of life. In the heart of my small family, I stand as the sole child, enveloped in a world brimming with joy, where every moment is infused with the warmth of my parents' unwavering love and attention. They unwaveringly champion my deepest desires, presenting me with the finest treasures imaginable. Among all my interests, the one that ignites my soul is the art of rearing pets, particularly the stunningly beautiful dogs that fill my life with joy. At the age of 15, I discovered a profound love for dogs that would change my life forever. In those days, I found myself lost in a world of animal-related TV shows, utterly entranced by the stunning images of loyal, beautiful dogs that danced across the screen. For what felt like an eternity, I begged my parents to grant me the wish of a dog by my side. At last, my parents relented and I found myself on a journey to a dog farm, where I would choose a loyal companion to share my adventures with. The moment I stepped into the kennel, the chaotic symphony of yapping puppies engulfed me, their energy pulsating through the air like an electric current. Yet among the crowd, one dog captured my gaze instantly. The Great Dane stood majestically, its soft eyes gleaming with intelligence, smooth fur glistening in the light, and an imposing height that commanded attention. In a world where size often commands respect, the Great Dane, a towering figure, revealed a surprising innocence as a puppy, his large eyes sparkling with an endearing charm that belied his formidable reputation. From the very first moment, an extraordinary connection sparked between me and this dog. Without a moment's pause, I resolved to welcome him into my circle as my new friend. Initially, my choice left my parents in shock. They felt a flicker of apprehension at the thought of nurturing a majestic creature like the Great Dane, aware that the journey ahead might be fraught with challenges. Yet I managed to sway them, driven by my unwavering determination and deep love for this puppy. Upon bringing him home, we bestowed upon him the name Bruno. The initial days spent with Bruno were nothing short of extraordinary. He possessed an irresistible charm, always teetering on the edge of mischief. Bruno possessed a remarkable intelligence, absorbing simple commands like wait, stand, and sit with astonishing speed. We forged an unbreakable bond, savoring every fleeting moment together, wandering through the park's winding paths or simply sprawled on the floor, enveloped in a serene stillness that spoke volumes. Bruno underwent a swift and profound transformation as time passed. He transformed into a colossal, gentle giant, radiating warmth and unwavering loyalty. Bruno was not just a pet, he was a cherished member of the family, woven into the very fabric of their lives. In moments of despair and unease, Bruno's gentle gaze would find me, his affectionate licks a balm for my troubled heart, wrapping me in a cocoon of comfort and warmth. Bruno was not just a dog. He was my companion, my confidant, my heart wrapped in fur. Beyond the role of a friend and companion, he stood as a testament to the unbreakable bond that weaves together the hearts of humans and animals. Under Bruno's guidance, I learned the art of patience, the weight of accountability, and the beauty found in life's simplest joys. In the tapestry of life there exists a rare gem, A friend like Bruno. A steadfast companion who embraces you wholeheartedly, offering unwavering love and loyalty. No matter the circumstances or the shadows that may fall upon you, this extraordinary bond remains unbroken. A beacon of hope in a world that often feels uncertain. In my wildest dreams, I envisioned a future where Bruno and I were bound by an unbreakable love, living out our days in blissful harmony, forever intertwined. On my 18th birthday, an unforeseen event unfolded, one that would irrevocably change the course of my relationship with Bruno. The Sunday morning unfolded with a serene beauty, the sun casting a warm glow over the world, inviting all to embrace the day ahead. As always, Bruno and I wandered through the park near our home, the familiar path beckoning us into its embrace. Bruno held these excursions close to his heart. He dashed through the open expanse, inhaling the crisp air that filled his lungs, each breath a reminder of freedom. Every so often he would halt, captivated by the graceful flight of birds overhead or the intoxicating scent of blooming flowers nearby, lost in the beauty of the moment. The sight of Bruno's happiness never failed to bring a smile to my face. Yet, that morning held an unmistakable difference. As we strolled, a sudden shift overtook Bruno, transforming the atmosphere around us. He stopped abruptly, senses heightened, his eyes fixated on a far-off dog that seemed to beckon with its distant bark. The creature moved with an air of grace, its stunning golden coat shimmering in the light. A female Great Dane, she commanded attention with every elegant step she took. An invisible force drew Bruno closer to the puppy the moment his eyes fell upon it. His massive legs surged with a speed that left me breathless, while his tail whipped back and forth with an intensity that was impossible to ignore. I fought with every ounce of strength to prevent the leash from slipping off Bruno's neck. Yet, Bruno's strength was overwhelming. I lost my footing, teetering on the edge of disaster as it yanked me forward, dragging me across the ground. It remained oblivious to my desperate shouts, the name Bruno echoing into the silence unanswered. Like a bolt from the blue, it surged forward, racing toward the other dog with an unstoppable force. Panic surged through me, my heart pounding wildly in my chest as uncertainty gripped my mind. In a moment of sheer desperation, I shouted, "Bruno, stop!" Bruno jumped at the intensity of my sudden outburst. He halted, pivoting to confront me, his face a canvas of confusion and regret. Only then did the depths of Bruno's sorrow reveal themselves to me. His ears hung low, and his eyes were filled with a deep sorrow, as if he understood the weight of his actions and the sadness they had cast upon me. Yet, uncertainty gripped me as I pondered my next move. With deliberate caution, I led Bruno home, gently unfastening the leash that tethered us together. As we journeyed home, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off with Bruno. He was a shadow of his usual self. He ceased his joyful tail wagging and the exuberant sprinting, as if the world around him had suddenly shifted. Instead, he walked beside me, his movements quiet and deliberate, each step measured and unhurried. An overwhelming wave of emotion surged through me, leaving me breathless and bewildered. A wave of regret washed over me for raising my voice at Bruno, yet a deeper sorrow lingered in my heart for him. Yet a shadow of doubt loomed over me, gnawing at my thoughts. Would our bond remain unbroken? Or would it shift into something unrecognizable? In the dim light of the room, Bruno's eyes shimmered with a distant longing, lost in a world of his own as he lay quietly in the shadowy corner that night. He could still feel the weight of that encounter with the magnificent Great Dane from that very morning, its presence lingering in his mind like a shadow, stirring thoughts and emotions he couldn't quite shake off. I stepped closer to Bruno, my fingers gliding over his soft, silky fur. With a tender whisper, I vowed, "I will always love you, Bruno, no matter what. Yet I require your full focus. Do you understand?" Bruno's gaze met mine, his eyes sparkling with an understanding that felt almost otherworldly. A sly grin crept across my face, a silent prayer escaping my lips that nothing would come between us, threatening the fragile bond we shared. That night, as the shadows danced in the dim light, I wrapped my arms around Bruno, holding him close in a tender embrace before he drifted off to sleep. Bruno had a habit of curling up beside me. His steady breathing enveloped the room in a cocoon of security and tranquility, a rhythmic pulse that whispered promises of safety in the shadows. As the day faded into night, I gently placed my hand on his back, my fingers gliding over the soft, silky fur that felt like a whisper against my skin. But Bruno let out a soft moan, as if he could feel the strange energy in the air when my fingers brushed against a certain spot. Though the sigh was barely audible, sending a shiver down my spine, Bruno stood still, his expression betraying no hint of surprise. My heart raced wildly as I cautiously withdrew my hand from it. An odd sensation washed over me in that fleeting moment, perplexing and startling all at once. In the dim glow of the night light, I lay still, my eyes fixed on the ceiling, lost in thought. A surge of restlessness washed over me as a flurry of random ideas began to invade my thoughts. A deep and unexplainable connection had always lingered between Bruno and me. Yet, an unsettling anomaly had emerged. With a slow, deliberate motion, I pushed myself up from the bed, driven by an insatiable curiosity that demanded to be satisfied. A stick lay ominously in front of me, its presence stirring a sense of intrigue and foreboding. A thrilling surge of anticipation and anxiety washed over me as I laid eyes on it. As I settled into my seat, my gaze fixated on the stick, a wave of anxiety washed over me. With a creeping sense of inevitability, I gradually slipped my hand in, as if an unseen force was commandeering my thoughts. The air hung thick with an unseasonable warmth, wrapping around everything like a soft, heavy blanket. Every time my fingers brushed against it, Bruno's body convulsed with a shudder, as if the very essence of the object sent chills coursing through him. A strange substance oozed forth, clinging to my hand like a sinister secret waiting to be uncovered. I rose from my slumber and turned to confront Bruno, who lay blissfully unaware in the depths of his dreams. I gently settled onto the bed, wrapping my arms around him in a tender embrace, careful not to disturb his peaceful slumber. Sleep eluded me that night, slipping through my fingers like sand. A strange door had swung open between Bruno and me, and the peculiar sensation, laced with curiosity, lingered in the depths of my mind. Little did I know that Bruno's raw emotions would awaken a connection within me that was deeper and more profound than anything I had ever experienced before. Beyond his unwavering loyalty as a dog, he was a labyrinth of emotions and actions, a puzzle that required time and patience for me to unravel. An unsettling, elusive sensation began to seep into my being that night. With each fleeting glance at Bruno, my pulse quickened, a relentless rhythm echoing the growing tension in the air. Bruno had transformed in my eyes, evolving from just a dog or a friend into something far more profound and extraordinary. A whirlwind of excitement and confusion surged within me, leaving me to ponder the mysterious forces at play inside my very being. Bruno seemed to sense the shift within me. Every time I gazed into his eyes, they seemed to hold a different world within them. They seemed to possess an uncanny awareness, their demeanor imbued with a thoughtful politeness, as if they could peer into the depths of my thoughts. There were moments when I caught Bruno's gaze, his vivid eyes locked onto mine, overflowing with emotions I couldn't quite decipher. Our bond, once deep, now pulses with an intensity that transcends the ordinary, reaching a new realm of significance. As the afternoon sun filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground, Bruno and I found ourselves seated in the yard, enveloped in a moment that felt both serene and charged with unspoken possibilities. With his head nestled against my thigh and his eyes fluttering in a dreamy haze, Bruno lingered beside me, as if he were drinking in every precious second of this serene moment. The warmth radiated from Bruno, enveloping me as I reached out to caress his silky fur. This time, however, an electric current surged through my body, replacing the usual sense of familiarity with a thrilling jolt of anticipation. A shiver coursed through me at that precise moment of contact. I leaned in closer, my gaze locked onto Bruno, studying him intently for what felt like an eternity. His large brown eyes sparkled with an unsettling understanding as they fluttered open. In that moment it felt as though his words were directed solely at me, a silent connection weaving between us, an understanding that lingered in the air, unspoken yet palpable. Bruno's eyes held a mystery that both bewildered and strangely soothed me. One fateful day, chaos erupted, spiraling everything into disarray. That day, the house was eerily quiet, just Bruno and me left behind, the absence of my parents casting a shadow over the familiar rooms. The house, once a sanctuary of warmth and laughter, began to descend into an unsettling silence. It was just Bruno and me, alone in the vast expanse of the room, the air thick with anticipation. A rush of exhilaration coursed through me, mingled with a hint of apprehension, as if the air itself was charged with the promise of something extraordinary about to unfold. Bruno lay beside me, his gaze fixed intently on every move I made. He sensed the peculiar atmosphere enveloping the location, a strange energy that prickled at the edges of his awareness. Uncertainty gnawed at me that day, a restless energy I couldn't quite place. Yet, in the depths of Bruno's eyes, ever kind, ever perceptive, there lingered an unspoken anticipation, as if they were waiting for something to unfold. In the stillness of the home, the relentless ticking of the clock echoed, each tick a reminder of the passing moments, heavy with anticipation. To escape the weight of the day, Bruno and I sank into the plush cushions of the living room, the soft glow of the flickering TV casting shadows around us as we lost ourselves in a light-hearted movie. Bruno lay sprawled near my feet, his head gently cradled on my knee while I sank into the comfort of the couch. Bruno's eyes sparkled with an intensity that seemed to ignite as the flickering light from the TV danced across them. Bruno sprang to his feet, his eyes shimmering with an unusual light, as if a profound revelation had just struck him. He rushed to the main door, silence enveloping him like a shroud. As I stood there, caught in a web of uncertainty, Bruno slammed the door shut, sealing us off from whatever had lurked beyond the threshold, leaving me questioning if I had truly heard something or if my mind was playing tricks on me. He whirled around, an intense emotion flickering in his eyes, and rushed toward me. In an instant, Bruno lunged at me, his movements swift and decisive, catching me completely off guard and rendering me unable to react. It felt as though the very fabric of space was being suffocated. Time stood still. As I stood frozen, astonishment coursing through me, the world around me erupted into a chaotic whirlwind that shattered every boundary. Time stood still, and I found myself paralyzed, words escaping me in that charged instant. Time hung in the air, suspended in a moment that felt both eternal and fleeting. The air thickened with an unbearable tension, wrapping around them like a vice. The world around me blurred into a fog. The only sound piercing through the silence was the relentless pounding of my heartbeat. The aftermath unfolded like a relentless tornado, obliterating all boundaries and distinctions in its wake. Uncertainty gripped me as I pondered Bruno's hidden motivations, leaving me at a loss for what actions to take in that moment. Yet, I knew deep down that the events that had just unfolded would irrevocably change the course of my existence. The door stood ajar, a gaping invitation to the unknown, and once it had swung wide, there was no turning back. From that day forward, an unexplainable bond formed between Bruno and me, one that felt both haunting and profound. We never spoke of that fateful moment, yet the weight of it hung between us, palpable and electric, every time our gazes intertwined. Like a smoldering fire blazing in the stillness of the house, a peaceful harmony enveloped us, a secret shared only between him and me. The next time, everything flowed seamlessly, as if an unspoken connection had formed between us, guiding us effortlessly to the starting point. With a soft click, the door sealed behind us every time we stepped into the room. With a blend of raw power and gentle caress, Bruno would draw near, a silent promise echoing in his every touch that I belonged to him and him alone. It's hard to admit, but a part of me was drawn to it, craving that electrifying rush that danced on the edge of danger. In the moments spent with Bruno, reality slipped through my fingers like sand, leaving me adrift in a world of our own making. A wave of emotions crashed over me, leaving me trembling and igniting a fire within. Transcended mere physical contact. My body betrayed me in Bruno's presence, each cell igniting a wildfire of sensations that quickened my breath and sent my heart racing. Only the magnetic pull of Bruno lingered, eclipsing all worries and thoughts of the consequences that had once clouded her mind. In those moments when the silence enveloped the room once more, I would find myself lost in contemplation, delving deep into the recesses of my own thoughts. A nagging sensation clawed at my insides, a whisper of unease that my parents, steadfast in their unwavering belief in us, would never dare to acknowledge. Yet I found myself unable to let go of that feeling, that unnameable surge of emotion that gripped my very core. It consumed me, a relentless craving that beckoned for more, yet wrapped me in a shroud of fear. Behind the facade of normalcy I wore around my parents, a tempest of secrets churned within me, each one a whisper begging to be set free. Despite the whispers of doubt echoing in my heart, Bruno and I found ourselves unable to turn away from this path we had chosen. As time slipped away, I continued to shroud everything in the comforting embrace of those familiar walls. Yet, deep down, I have always sensed that this cannot last forever. Fear gripped me, paralyzing my resolve to intervene. Yet the thought of the day when everything would come to light haunted my mind relentlessly. We plunged deeper and deeper, day after day, ensnared in an unyielding vortex that seemed to defy escape. The moment I received the news of my acceptance to a distant institution, words eluded me, leaving me in a whirlwind of emotions that I struggled to articulate. The door to the future swung open, a threshold that should have ignited joy within me, yet all I felt was a heavy weight of despair. Deep down, I understood that this moment signaled the end of my journey with Bruno, my friend, my ally, and the keeper of my unspoken emotions. I fought against the urge to think about it. In the days leading up to my departure, I clung to the belief that the miles between us would grant me the escape I so desperately sought from the turmoil within. I envisioned a fresh start, a new life that would soothe the chaos of my heart. Yet, every time I looked into Bruno's eyes, a wave of guilt washed over me, as if I were shattering the extraordinary connection we once held dear. On the day I left, an eerie silence enveloped the house. Bruno trailed behind me, his sorrowful gaze fixed on my every move while my parents busied themselves with packing my things into a suitcase. He appears to grasp that everything would change irrevocably the moment I walked away. I leaned in, wrapping my arms around Bruno for one last embrace as the car's engine roared to life, ready to whisk him away. Though his fur radiated warmth, an inexplicable melancholy enveloped our embrace today, casting a shadow over the moment. In a tender yet possessive gesture, Bruno pressed his head gently against my shoulder, as if to hold me back from the world beyond. My eyes brimmed with tears, yet I fought to hold them back in the presence of my parents. The engine roared to life, and the vehicle surged forward, breaking the stillness of the moment. I turned my gaze toward that shadowy figure. As the morning light bathed Bruno in its glow, his bright eyes standing on the doorstep betrayed a haunting emptiness within. Rather than chasing after me, he stood still, his gaze fixed on my retreating figure. That image lingered in my mind like a haunting farewell, a painful reminder that cut deeper than any words ever could. The thoughts of Bruno consumed me as I navigated the winding road to school. My mind was a whirlwind of memories, each one a secret whisper between us, moments that belonged solely to the two of us. I wrestled with the thought of departure. Would it truly extinguish everything, or was it merely the beginning of an insatiable longing that would haunt me forever? In this faraway land, the ache of missing Bruno settled deep within me, a haunting uncertainty lingering. Would he ever forget me? With unnamed feelings lingering in the shadows, unsaid secrets echoing in the silence, and a friendship forever altered, I stepped into a new chapter of my life. As I delved into the depths of our entire relationship, I realized that the twists and turns of love and emotion often exceed the boundaries of our imagination. In the tapestry of my youth, there was a thread woven with the warmth of friendship, Bruno, a steadfast companion who stood by me through every storm, beginning when I was just a wide-eyed 14-year-old girl, unaware of the trials that lay ahead. Yet that bond also stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me, revealing profound lessons along the way. In my journey, I unearthed a profound truth. Love is not merely a bond. It is a weighty responsibility that demands our utmost devotion. To truly love someone, be it a fellow human or a cherished pet, one must first embrace the profound depths of respect and understanding that bind hearts together. While emotions that defy the ordinary can be bewildering, it is essential to grasp how to maintain your moral compass to discern what is truly right. In a moment of clarity, I understood that even the most beautiful relationships sometimes require distance, a necessary pause that allows both individuals to grow and evolve in their own ways. Leaving Bruno was one of the hardest decisions I ever faced, yet it was a necessary step for me to forge ahead on my journey. At times, distance serves as a canvas for us to paint our own lives, allowing space for growth and fulfillment, rather than a sign of loss. It is crucial for everyone to cherish their relationships, yet it is equally important to ensure that emotions do not cloud their judgment. Life will take you on a tumultuous journey through a myriad of complex emotions, and there will be moments when the weight of your circumstances feels utterly suffocating. In these moments, take a breath and reflect on what is right, and what will genuinely bring joy to you and the one or the thing you cherish. A profound love, tempered by the necessity of boundaries that shield both others and oneself from harm. Not every emotion is meant to break free from its natural confines, and not every feeling demands a response. Bruno will forever linger in the shadows of my childhood, a cherished echo of laughter and warmth that time cannot erase. Alongside the journey of discovering love, I unearthed the profound art of letting go when our paths diverged. That lesson, etched in my heart, will guide me as I continue to grow and evolve. Even though Bruno is no longer by my side, the bond we shared remains an irreplaceable treasure, etched in my heart forever.